Hello everyone, welcome to Analytical PPTs. Nowadays, you all like to read books either digitally by using the Kindle app or physically. Some may like reading from comedy to horror or from fiction to non-fiction. And the people who pen these ideas down and create a novel or a book are known as authors. So, yes, our today's topic is the most famous authors. Here is the list of the most famous authors. William Shakespeare was an English poet, playwright, and actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon, or simply the Bard. His extant works, including collaborations, consist of some 39 plays, 154 sonnets, two long narrative poems, and a few other verses, some of uncertain authorship. His plays have been translated into every major living language and are performed more often than those of any other playwright. Eric Arthur Blair, better known by his pen name George Orwell, was an English novelist and essayist, journalist and critic. His work is characterized by lucid prose, biting social criticism, opposition to totalitarianism, and outspoken support of democratic socialism. In 2008, The Times ranked George Orwell second among the 50 greatest British writers since 1945. Joanne Rowling, in 31st, born on 31st July 1965, better known by her pen name J.K. Rowling, is a British author, film producer, television producer, screenwriter, and philanthropist. She is known for writing the Harry Potter fantasy series, which has won multiple awards and sold more than 500 million copies, becoming the best-selling book series in history. The books are the basis of a popular film series, over which Rowling had overall approval on the scripts and was a producer of the final films. She also writes crime fiction under the name Robert Galbraith. Kurt Vonnegut was an American writer. In a career spanning over 50 years, Vonnegut published 14 novels, 3 short story collections, 5 plays, and 5 works of non-fiction. With further collections being published after his death, he is most famously for his darkly satirical, best-selling novel Slaughterhouse-Five, which was published in 1969. After its release, Slaughterhouse-Five went to the top of the New York Times bestseller list, thrusting Vonnegut into fame. He was invited to give speeches, lectures, and commencement addresses around the country and received many awards and honors. Adeline Virginia Woolf Stephen was an English writer considered one of the most important modernist 20th century authors and also a pioneer in the use of stream of consciousness as a narrative device. Ernest Miller Hemingway was an American journalist, novelist, short story writer, and sportsman. His economical and understand style, which he termed the iceberg theory, had a strong influence on 20th century fiction. While his adventurous lifestyle and his public image brought him admiration from later generations, Hemingway produced most of his work between the mid 1920s and the mid 1950s, and he won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954. He published seven novels, six short story collections, and two non-fiction works. Three of his novels, four short story collections, and three non-fiction works were published posthumously. Many of his works are considered classics of American literature. William Cuthbert Faulkner was an American writer and Nobel Prize laureate from Oxford, Mississippi. Faulkner wrote novels, short stories, screenplays, poetry, essays, and plays. He is primarily known for his novels and short stories set in the fictional Yoknapatawpha County, based on Lafayette County, Mississippi, where he spent most of his life. Faulkner is one of the most celebrated writers in American literature generally and Southern literature specifically. Though his work was published as early as 1919 and largely during the 1920s and 1930s, Faulkner's renown reached its peak upon the publication of Malcolm Cowley's The Portable Faulkner and his 1949 Nobel Prize in Literature, making him the only Mississippi-born Nobel winner. Two of his works of fable and his last novel, The Reivers, each won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. In 1998, the Modern Library ranked his 1929 novel, The Sound and the Fury, sixth on its list of the 100 best English language novels of the 20th century. Ayn Rand was a Russian American writer and philosopher. She is known for her two best selling novels, The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, and for developing a philosophical system she named Objectivism. Educated in Russia, she moved to the United States in 1926. She had a play produced on Broadway in 1935 and 1936. After two early novels that were initially unsuccessful, she achieved fame with her 1943 novel The Fountainhead. In 1957, Rand published her best known work, the novel Atlas Shrugged. Afterwards, she turned to non-fiction to promote her philosophy, publishing her own periodicals and releasing several collections of essays until her death in 1982. James Augustine Aloysius Royce Joyce was an Irish novelist, short story writer, poet, teacher, and literary critic. He contributed to the modernist avant-garde and is regarded as one of the most influential and important authors of the 20th century. Joyce is best known for Ulysses, a landmark work in which the episodes of Homer's Odyssey are paralleled in a variety of literary styles, most famously Stream of Consciousness. Other well-known works are the short story collection Dubliners and the novels A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man and Finnegan's Wake. His other writings include three books of poetry, a play, his published letters, and occasional journalism. Jerome David Salinger was an American writer best known for his novel The Catcher in the Rye. Salinger published several short stories in, in Story magazine in the early 1940s before serving in World War II. In 1948, his critically acclaimed story, A Perfect Day for Banana Fish, appeared in the New Yorker, which became home to much of his later works. His last published work, a novella entitled Hepworth 16, 1924, appeared in the New Yorker on June 19, 1965. Charles John Huffam Dickens was an English writer and social critic. He created some of the world's best known fictional characters and is regarded by many as the greatest novelist in the Victorian era. His works enjoyed unprecedented popularity during his lifetime, and by the 20th century, critics and scholars had recognized him as a literary genius. His novels and short stories are still widely read today. Roald Dahl, 13 September 1916 to 23 November 1990, was a British novelist, short story writer, poet, screenwriter, and wartime fighter pilot. His books have sold more than 250 million copies worldwide. And thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell to get more videos like this. And that's all for today. Bye.